The Valley of Secrets. Agatha led the way up a small incline and down a narrow deer path. The tall grasses waved their hellos in the light breeze as we passed through a lovely meadow colored by red, white, yellow, and blue wildflowers. Tall, craggy, toothy mountainsides that seemed much younger than the cave protected the inner valley. There were peach and apple trees and cherry trees and all types of lush greens growing on the banks by a cool mountain stream. Agatha motioned for me to keep up. We don't have much time before we lose the sunlight behind those cliffs. Agatha picked up the pace. I don't know how she does it. Isn't she old? I thought. You're supposed to be young. Hurry up, she yelled back. Finally, she stopped in a clearing near the brook. Look around at your bearings. Once the leaves are gone, it's harder to determine which trees to stop at. I surveyed the ground, but it was all grass, and I couldn't see the hillside through the trees. So I went up to the closest apple tree with the oddest branch formation and stretched out my arms to match it. I closed my eyes and leaned into the tree for a hug. I stepped away and took a good look at the tree again, closing my eyes and asking to speak to its spirit. It was not an old tree of the forest, but a maid bearing fruit. Her light was lovely, and her hair looked like leaves. I asked, please let me know your light and this place right here, so I may come again and again. The maid faded back into a tree, but the tree, I noticed, had a new glow about it, and I saw markings that separated it from the others. Thank you, Spirit. In gratitude, I left a small, clear crystal near the roots. I turned toward Agatha to see her selecting plants. Agatha, what are you doing? Do you have this place in your mind and heart? Yep, I sure do. Good. I'm picking some leaves for tea and salad. These are dandelions, and the roots will make a rich tea and soup. And over there is a stand of cattails. What do you do with those? Well, roots are yummy, and the tops will make good pillow stuffing, and the leaves make excellent mats for the cave floor. Over here are some watercress. She pointed toward the banks of the brook. Watercress is highly nutritious. Oh, let me show you where there's a stand of onions. I followed her over to a large clearing about 300 feet from the water. Further away from the water here, sometimes there's parsley and radishes and an occasional fennel near these onions. We can pick the radishes and parsley. Oh, look, there's some mint. Agatha looked to be in heaven. She obviously loved gardening and plants. I didn't have the faintest idea about them, but I knew my survival and apprenticeship depended on it. So I asked questions and learned as much as she would say. How did you know there were onions, Agatha? You don't sound like you know much about plants. Plants are here to be part of our world. They heal us if we let them. They are a part of the all-love. When you've been in a place for a season, your energy will attract the plants that you need most. And if you are grateful and love them, they will give you the strength to do the harmonious work you are here to learn. Yes, Agatha. She continued her lesson. Onions have long, straight stems that hold water. There's sometimes a flower at the top, and if you move them around, they smell like onions. So they're very easy to find. She turned and pointed towards some spiky plants. Milk thistle and many other thistles have a sweet root when roasted. The milk thistle leaves have white veins. That's how you can tell them apart from the other thistles. If you pick the head before it flowers, you can eat that, but it's better to wait for the seeds. Milk thistle seeds make a hearty and nutritious tea, or you can eat the seeds if you'd rather. There are willow trees that offer their bark as a pain reducer. Oh, here's Lily of the Valley. She scurried over to a delicate white bell-shaped flower that reminded me of upside-down fairy cups. It's a lovely flower, and the root is great for a sluggish heart. But always use caution with this one. Agatha went on and on, teaching and introducing me to a new world. Your diet needs to be simple and easy in order to do the work. It's hard to harmonize with crystals when the body is struggling. Yes, Agatha. It's getting late. We should come back tomorrow. Yes, we will return tomorrow, was the last thing she said every day for a month. Every day I rose, said my prayers to each direction, ate a simple breakfast, and met Agatha in the valley. And every day she taught me some new information about the properties of either plants or water. Agatha, when are you going to teach me about crystals? Pushing back her skirts, she walked over to sit by me near the brook. I've been teaching you about crystal power every day we've been in this valley and every day since we met. Oh, I'm sorry, Agatha. I hope I'm not disrespectful, but I don't understand your teachings. I see. She looked at me for a long time and then got up and went back to collecting peaches and fiddleheads. At midday, we gathered up our baskets of plants, cress, and fruits and walked to our usual stone outcropping that resembled a table and bench. The sun-warmed rocks were well shaded by noon. Here, she cut up some peaches and poured us a glass of warm sun tea to go with our lovely minty watercress and dandelion salad with leftover cattail root from last night's dinner. After lunchtime, Agatha leaned back against the granite rock bench and began my daily lesson. What do you see when you look out? She made a sweeping motion that encompassed the valley. I took in a deep cleansing breath and surveyed the lush green landscape of trees that bore fruit and the babbling brook that never dried up and all the plants and birds and bees that found a home here. I see a paradise, a place untouched by man's industry, a place of harmony and natural beauty. And what of the mountains? What do you see in them? I looked up at the peaks of granite and shaded hillsides that surrounded this sweet place. They are the protectors, guardians really. Okay, now think only of the elements. What do you suppose all rock is made of? All rock? All rock being made the same? Yes, my dear. Open your mind and simplify what you know to just the 4 basic elements of Western culture, or 5 elements of Asian culture and tell me what you find. I thought hard. I was stumped. My mind raced between all 5 elements until my heart answered the question. I took a swig of tea and said, "Mud. It's all hardened mud." "Correct. And what is mud?" I relaxed a little. "It's earth and water." "Right. And now comes the tricky part. So what is a rock?" "Oh, it's hardened, dried earth and water." "Yes. Have some tea." I ate another slice of juicy peach and slung down the last of my herb tea. The swallows were swooping through the high grasses. I want you to reflect on what you just told me and apply it only to water. Do you know how a tree becomes a rock? I know a little. Petrified wood is silica. It's a crystal. The wood transforms into silica over time and the right circumstances, which I think is volcanic. Agatha nodded her approval. Yes, that's close enough. So now let's talk about water. Agatha, are you going to say that water turns to rock over time? She laughed and laughed. Well done. Yes, I was. I smiled at my own intuition. Okay, now we just need to understand a few more things about this marvelous and sacred place we call Earth, and then we can start the lesson. The lesson hasn't started yet? Quiet your mind and think with your heart. I sat back, closed my eyes, and took a deep breath, visualizing the lovely valley. Just like the water in the trees, the water in the earth gets trapped in pockets, and over a very long time, it transforms into something else. The quartz family still retains its water molecule shape. It's a hint of what it is. But water is everywhere in our world. Unlike the other elements, this planet is and always has been water. Do you see that? Yes, Agatha, I love water. I have been aware of its connection to everything for some time now. I know that about you, or the Cave of Knowing would not have selected you. Thank you, Agatha. You're welcome. I want you to return your mind to this valley. Use your heart mind and tell me about the water in this place. Okay. The water is everywhere, in all the grasses and plants and trees and fruit. And it's in the blood of us and the insects and all of the animals and birds that live here. Water is alive and flowing in the brook and transformed in the mountain's rock structure. And what do you know about the number 6? Oh, well, 6 is made up of 2 threes. It's a happy family of togetherness. The person born under the 6 vibration can love anyone they consider to be family. It is both the strength and the limitation of the 6. 66 is the number of compassion, the all love, which is a joyous number. It is the 6 vibration transformed. And then there is the lie of 666. It equals 18, which equals 9, which is spirit, which is higher love. Agatha sat back again and sipped her tea before speaking. The 6 is not limited. It is a multiple of spirit. When one observes the 3 and its happy, joyful buoyancy, one can see that this joyfulness is then multiplied to include another. so that we can view 6 as a pair of 3s or spirit with company. But when spirit is tripled, spirit is alone again. Alone, but with company. So although 9 and its multiples are gifted with spirit, they are alone on the planet, our beautiful sacred earth that we live on. Tell me what you can about the oceans. I poured myself another cup and leaned in for more peaches. Agatha, I have an idea about the oceans. For some time now, I've considered water to be liquid crystal. It seems to be highly instrumental in changing moods and healing. I know a lot of people feel that the sea will swallow you up, but I think the ocean is all love and wants to envelop, which unfortunately looks like drowning. But if we were able to breathe underwater, it would look like hugging. Yes, hugging you all the way down to the Davy Jones's locker. She gave a hearty, knowing laugh. For me, the water is all connected, and when I do a ceremony at the ocean's shore, the energy is carried by the water in its travels. The water, the clouds, the oceans, and the lakes seem connected within the cycle of water. There is no boundary. Is anything I'm saying true, Agatha? Well, most of it is true-ish. When you pray by the water and love the water, your energy and emotion are carried in the water, much like you say. The water is a vehicle of reflected thoughts. You, however, have a very different job on this planet than most others, and your experiences are often not shared. Don't you feel alone in your pursuits? Isn't that why you asked me to teach you? Because I'm lonely, you mean? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You often seem sad and lonely. I looked down at my feet and felt even more sad that someone had blown my cover. I am sad and I am often lonely. Loneliness is the hardest. I get into more trouble with that aspect, and then I get sad again. I just don't understand why I don't get to have a normal life. I thought it was my upbringing until I got older and realized it was my agreement with Spirit for this lifetime. Agatha took my hand. My dear, you are gifted, blessed by Spirit, called to do something very special. Yes, I've heard. A spirit group visited me. They said that there were others like me with the same life assignment. But knowing that, Agatha, and living that are two very different things. It all makes me so happy until I remember I'm all alone in my happiness. Agatha reached forward to pat my hand. I'm here, and I know about it. You can be happy with me. I looked up to see tears streaming down her face. Oh, Agatha, what is it? Did I say something to upset you? Agatha wiped her tears with the back of her sleeve. No, dear. I am also one of the people who have been visited by spirit callers lately. I understand your struggle. I leaned forward and snatched Agatha up into a hug. You know? Are you a singer too? Agatha looked away into the distance. A singer. I've never heard that term before. I was originally told I was a pathfinder. I lay the path for others to follow. Agatha and I looked into the distance, thinking, Agatha, what does it all have to do with crystals? She got up and walked around a bit, holding her arms behind her back. That's a complicated question, but I think it's best answered like this. Your power and crystal power are very similar. Your love of water and crystal's love of water are also similar. It is likely why the cave approved of you. And before you get restless and start asking me when I'm going to teach you about crystals, I will say that I think it's time. We will finish our work in the valley for a few more days, and then I will take you somewhere very special. I brightened and sat up like a puppy getting a treat. Oh, thank you, Agatha. I'm so glad. Thank you. I jumped up and gave her another hug. Oh, thank you, my dear. But we need to get back to our work if we are to do anything else this summer. Agatha walked off toward the brook where we were gathering herbs and reeds, and I cleaned up our lunch mess before following.